Hello and welcome to the newest episode of the New Year 6 podcast. Today I will be continuing my Week 2 game preview videos. Kicking us off today with the game of the week as far as anyone's really concerned. Game day will be there. Everyone, who's anyone will be there. It's going to be a hell of a time, and it's going to be Texas at Alabama, the marquee matchup of the year so far, or of the week so far. So if you haven't seen my preview videos leading up to this one, the format is just going team by team, covering off what's working, what's not, keys to the game, all that fun stuff, and then doing a final pick and then a score prediction, all that fun stuff. So kicking us off with Texas, as they are the road team. I got my all right. Longhorn shirt. I picked it up in Austin at the last year's version of this game. I was in Austin for it. Close one out there in Austin. Expecting a somewhat similar result this year in Tuscaloosa. But if I'm looking at Texas, what I want to see from them, from an injury perspective, the only one listed is C.J. Baxter. He's back at practice. But I still want to see that depth at that running back kind of come into fruition. Baxter being a key part to that depth, as well as guys like Jonathan Brooks and Keelan Robinson. If all three of them in that capacity have like a 1-2-3 punch, and Bama never knows who's going to be out there, what they're going to be running, anything like that, it's going to be huge for the morale of this team. They already have a super talented receiver room. They have Quinn Ewers, who can run the ball in his own right, but ultimately, great passer as well. So all that's kind of taken care of. The running back room is the only one that is a little bit more up in the air after the loss of Bijan Robinson to the NFL. So if the other pieces can kind of come together, guys like Baxter, guys like Jonathan Brooks, if they can rise to the occasion for this Texas team, they can play through any dings, bumps, and bruises that they've had so far, and they can keep Bama kind of guessing and on their toes. They're gonna put Bama through a very hard time on Saturday if that's what ends up being the case. So I really want to see what this running back room can do against an Alabama defense that, generally speaking, is very, very talented. It's a rushing defense this year so far that is 31st in the country. So definitely going to be a challenge for Bama to hold that back, but going to be a challenge for Texas to run on that type of defense. So it all come to fruition soon enough, but we'll see the reality of both these teams and what they really are on Saturday. What I want to see from Texas, what has been working so far, they're keeping the ball in their hands. The turnover margin for Texas right now is in the positive. It's number 4 in the country, so that means Ewers is not turning the ball over. Needs those receivers and running backs are not turning the ball over, and those DBs and those linebackers are getting takeaways. So, from my perspective, that means continue to do more of that against Alabama. And now I know it's a lot easier to do that against Alabama than it is to, or it's a lot harder to do that against Alabama than it is to do that against Rice. That being said, if you've done it against Rice, you theoretically can do it against Alabama. If it's been done once before, it can be done again. So that's what I want to see out of Texas, just controlling the ball on offense, not giving up anything free for Alabama. The rushing defense on Bama is borderline top 25 week after week. The passing defense is also borderline top 25 week after week. So it may be hard for Ewers to hold on to the ball and not make a bad pass every once in a while. But that means the defense is going to have to step up in their own right. And if they end up with a positive turnover margin like they have last week, then Texas is going to be in this to the final snap like they were in Austin last year. What I want to see Texas improve upon, coming out of last week, that O-line has to protect Ewers. That O-line has to be ready for the heat that's coming at them. Ewers did get sacked at least a few times last week. I know Ewers is a little bit more mobile and kind of running around, and I'm sure that contributes to it, but Alabama's not going to play those games that Rice did. Alabama's going to be in your face, breathing on top of you, and then tackling your quarterback for a 6-yard loss. That can't happen if you're going to if you're going to beat the kingpin in their kingdom. So Texas, just protect your guy. He's the best quarterback you've had probably since Colt. So if you can do that, if you can protect him, if you can put him in a good spot, keep the turnovers to a minimum, and ultimately create some turnovers, and then get that running back depth established, and keep this Alabama defense guessing on the run game, where it's going to go, who it's going to go to, all that fun stuff. Then Texas very well could win this game. It is not out of the equation. In terms of Alabama, what I want to see from them, also a very limited injury report. Only one player out, and it is a receiver. So I want to see what those receivers can do. With one out, it means those second strings may need to rise to the occasion if something happens. Guys like Ja'Cory Brooks, guys like Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice, those type of players are going to get rotated into their starting spots. Not even if someone goes down, but by virtue of having a package ready for them, having a formation ready for them, anything like that to get those second string guys opportunities and really help challenge this Texas defense. It's a passing defense that is very good for Texas in their own right, and if Alabama's going to win, they're going to have to mix up. If they go from 3 wide to 5 wide to 4 wide to 5 wide to 3 wide, like anything that gets that defense guessing and gets them in an inconvenient position, play over play, Alabama's going to have to figure out how to utilize those depth receivers in a way that Texas does not expect them to. In terms of what Alabama does very well, they score in the red zone. I feel like a broken record in the last few videos, but again, it's only week 1. There's a bunch of teams tied for first in the red zone offense. So if Alabama can be one of those teams that continues to score in the red zone, whereas Texas does not look good in the red zone so far, they don't really score in that often, and their defense gives up points when they're there. If Alabama capitalizes on that, takes advantage of it, and gets those easy points, it's going to be a lot easier for Alabama to win this game by the end of it. Like, you don't want to have this come down to 5 minutes left in the fourth like last year. You don't have Bryce Young this year. It's going to be significantly harder to win this game this year, even if it is at home. Last year's Bama team is more talented than this year's Bama team. Last year's Texas team is, dare I say, less talented than this year's Texas team. The format location is favorable for Bama, but ultimately this red zone offense is going to be crucial for Alabama to win. They're going to need to score in their own 20 or in Texas's 20, put those easy points on the board, walk away, and let your defense do the rest. In terms of what I want to see better of from Bama, controlling the pace of play. That time of possession is below average right now. It's 80th in the country. Now, again, you don't need time of possession when you're playing Middle Tennessee. They beat them 56-7, so it's just huck it up and someone scores on 40 yards. That's less likely to occur against Texas. So slow it down, play your game, don't get me wrong, but at that same time, focus on that development as an offense. Keep your defense fresh, fit, and healthy. And a lot of that, goes a long way if your offense is the one, controlling that. It goes a long way if your offense is the one, bringing that to the table. If they're the ones who are, slowing it down, 1st and 10 turns into a 2nd and 6, turns into a 3rd and 2, turns into a 1st down. If that's the way it ends up working out, and they do have a great 3rd down offense for Alabama, if that's the way it ends up playing out, Texas' defense is going to get tired. They're going to get worn out. The environment's going to be going crazy for Bama, and that's going to be a huge key to this game. So if Bama can use their receiver depth, score in the red zone, and slow down that pace of play, control the time of possession, Bama's going to take home a big W in front of a home crowd. But we have to pick a winner. We have to pick, we're going to have to pick an official winner here. So, as we kind of guess at this point, Alabama is the favorite. They are favored by 7 points, and the total is, I should have in front of me, 54.5. I am going to take Alabama to win. I'm going to take Alabama to cover, so I don't think it's going to be all right for Texas this year. And I am going to hit the over on 54.5 just barely. So final score prediction for me is Bama 33, Texas 22. So 2-score win for Bama at home. Kind of shows that Texas is a quality team, that they can go into Bama and play them tight, but they're not good enough to knock off Bama at home. That is a much easier said than done mentality for Bama. I can't tell you the last time Bama's lost at home, because their loss to Tennessee last year was on the road. LSU the year before that was on the road. I can't recall the last time Texas A&M the year before was on the road. They went undefeated in the COVID year. They may not have lost at home since 2019, 2018. I have no idea. So Bama wins at home is a consistent theme, and they will win at home again this year. So what are your thoughts on this game? What are your keys to the game? Do you think Texas is going to pull it out? Do you think Alabama is going to stay strong? Who do you got? What are your thoughts? Comment below. But thank you all for watching this episode of the New Year's 6 podcast. Tune in next time for the final Week 2 game preview prediction. I'm going to do my sneaky good game of the week, which is Auburn at Cal, a clash of two very different cultures. You get the, we'll call them what they are, the tea sippers out west, and then down south you got the beer drinkers there. It's going to be a very war of the worlds in a sense, a unique culture clash that is sure to entertain in that 10:30 slot. So thank you all for watching. Comment your thoughts below, and tune in next time as we prep for another exciting week of college football soon.